Brian, make us all feel better.
Brian
Welcome.
Logan, what's up?
Welcome, my friend.
You dropped the hood. You come out of your cocoon.
Yeah, I did. I woke up this morning, man, and seriously thought that I had a nightmare. That's how.
We did have a nightmare.
You know what? I can understand for the first time when people, go through a bad experience and they wake up and they go, oh, shoot, that really did happen. That's how I feel, man.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was still shocked to this very moment. That's why I have a hood on.
We had a moment last night where you looked at me.
There were a lot of moments last night.
Amidst this crazy blowout loss, and you said to me, I have to go. I need to go do something else right now because I feel sick.
So you left the stadium.
I left the stadium.
You weren't kidding.
Yeah, no. I actually went home to my home in Lehigh. Obviously listened to the radio in the game, but I physically, man, I was sick to my stomach. And I don't think I've ever experienced that before.
Certainly not watching BYU football.
Just not watching football, period, right? Yeah, you wouldn't think, or I wouldn't think that, watching a sporting event would do that to me physically. And it just goes back to what I said last night. When you are a part of a program that has so much tradition and so there's so much history there, and understanding what this university is about and that you're playing for something that goes beyond the sport of football, even not being LDS, you know what I mean? And to see that performance like that, I just feel like those guys were letting me down and letting all the guys that came through the program down. And I physically just couldn't take it, man. I had to throw the deuces up and leave.
Okay, so obviously there's a lot to break down from last night. So where schematically did you see the biggest breakdown?
I've been thinking about this over and over. I even watched the rebroadcast, man. To me,
you're a glutton for punishment.
Hey,
He takes his job seriously.
Hey, man, I just wanted to hear Uncle B's voice again, So, but what I saw, in my opinion, is not really X's and O's, man. It's just being prepared. And when you look at the film and you see guys having missed assignments, receivers running past DBs, when you see linebackers and defensive linemen coming through blitzes and untouched, when you see receivers drop balls, to me, that's a sign of not being prepared. That has nothing to do with X's and O's and schemes. And that's the most frustrating thing about it is this is your job. You may not have the exact, W-2, W-9, whatever you call it, but you got a scholarship. And you have your education paid for free. You have books paid, and in return, you are asked to play football and play football at a high level. And so to not be prepared is the first and foremost thing I feel like this team needs to take care of.
How does BYU get prepared after two major mental setbacks against Washington and now at home against Utah State? By the way, BYU 3-6 at LaVell Edwards Stadium in their last 9. How does BYU turn the page and start to get prepared and try and push this thing in the right direction?
Look, every team is different, right? I'll just go off of my experience in 2010, the takeover when Coach Mendenhall came.
After a loss to Utah State.
After a loss. Oh, yeah. Shoot.
It happened.
It happened, right? And
it
so
was way worse than this.
Oh,
you were 1-4.
Oh, wait.
It'd be way worse.
It was way worse, man. I was about to quit football. Actually, I was about to quit life. But so when Coach Mendenhall took over the defense, right? And he said to us, he said, look, you guys have talent. You guys are athletic. You guys just don't believe. And the reason why I believe you guys don't believe is because you guys don't put the work in. And so you guys aren't confident enough to go out on the field and produce like we know you can. So we're just going to go back to the basics. So pursuit drills. We were sprinting to every single group or new period in practice. He made a rule that every time the ball crossed the line of scrimmage, he would make a tally, and we had to run a sprint. And the only way we can get it back is if we had a takeover, right, a turnover. So, during practice, when the scout team offense would run the ball and cross the line of scrimmage, boom. So we started tackling guys. We didn't have full pads. We didn't have full pads, and we were tackling guys because we weren't trying to run. And then every single time we had an opportunity to get an interception or strip the ball, oh my gosh, you better believe, all because we were not trying to run extra sprints. And so that mentality, that mindset, we got into the game, it was so easy. Oh my gosh. It was so easy to not let the ball cross the line of scrimmage because we did it every single day at practice. And people say, oh, practice makes perfect. That's false. Perfect practice makes perfect. You listen to all the greats, the legends, Michael Jordan, Kobe, anybody, and you hear them in interviews and they say, how did you make that play? Oh, I practiced it. What? You just practice one hand grabs? Or no. In practice, I would make those type of catches or those type of plays in practice. So when it got to the game, it's second nature to me.
Now the question becomes, there's certainly changes need to happen, right? Should BYU start Zach Wilson next week? I feel the same way. Yeah. Why do you feel that way?
This goes I'd say beyond personal opinion. Personal opinion, to me, he just has it. He has it. He has the look. He has the confidence, the swag, the tools, et cetera, et cetera. But what I see with Zach, and this is, again, my opinion from a defensive perspective, he opens up the playbook a lot more. And I would say just solely off of his ability to run the ball. I really, really, really want to dive into this topic one day, which is BYU being an independent. I believe that they have to have a mobile quarterback to be successful.
Why?
You look at just data, right? So you look at Taysom. You look at, when's the last time BYU was ranked?
Riley Nelson.
Riley, right? And this is why.
End of season. Ranked was last week.
Well, yes. But check this out, though. When you're going against these type of opponents, right? And when you don't have the talent athletically to compete and match up with these opponents, which is facts. That's going to be facts it was facts way in the past, it's current, and it's going to be in the future. It is what it is.
BYU will face teams that have more talent.
Right, exactly. That doesn't mean we can't win, though, because we've proven that we can. My point is that when stuff breaks down like this, like the running game, right, for example, you have a quarterback that's mobile to bail you out, so to speak, right? So you almost say it's okay that we have a running quarterback. And it's okay. We understand the risk of getting him hurt or injured. However, we are going to use him as a weapon in the game plan, in the running game. And I think that helps take off pressure, especially when you look at one-on-one matchups. You have defensive ends that are all conference, all pro, Big 12, Big 10, whatever the case is, against a tackle. Well, when you get that pressure, right, what happens? If you're not mobile, if you're not a mobile quarterback, you get sacked. Then what? Now you're looking at second and third and long, and it's over. But if you have a mobile quarterback that can at least, avoid the pressure or make something big happen, like we saw with Taysom multiple times, we saw with Riley multiple times, and we saw it with Zach.
Zach Wilson is potentially the starting quarterback at BYU, but that is the coach's decision to make. And the thing that we have to step back.
No, they're going to ask us.
The thing that we have to realize is, talking about livelihoods and jobs and moving things in the right direction, the coaches have a lot to weigh here before they let's just throw Zach in. I mean, it is a way bigger
they've had
decision.
6 games of data.
To me,
is now the time, or is it after a bye week?
Season.
I don't know. We'll see.
I think now's the time, man. To me, you kind of, I feel like you've already lost the ceiling, right? Like not the ceiling, but the sky's the limit type of
Which is crazy because
like
2
you
weeks
could be
ago,
here.
BYU was ranked.
It happens that fast.
It can change positively quickly.
Yeah,
it can change negatively.
That's college football, man, which is why we all love it and are obsessed. But I would say because of that, where you are right now, I would do that. And I would say this about Tanner. I think that Tanner has done what the coaches have asked him to do. I think the coaches take a look and they say, okay, Tanner can do this much.
They have
whatever it
limited
is
what they can do based on his skill set.
I would just say this. So if Jeff Grimes' playbook is this big, and they say, okay, Tanner gives us the best opportunity to win games, but Tanner can only do this, right? Which is fine. We're not saying it's bad or negative, whatever the case is.
Right,
we say he can only do this. And I believe that Tanner has done just this, right? He's,
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
It needs to expand.
Now,
BYU's 3-3. They've been blown out twice.
That's
gotta change.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
We no longer can do just this anymore. we have to do this in order to survive, to win games. And it's just, it is what it is. Tanner can only do this. And if Zach can do this, let's put him in. I think that's the
and
easy
he's had
decision.
half a season kind of get into it a little bit.
Right, yes, that's
in 2 games now.
That's how you make the decision. It's very life is so simple. I'm telling you, it could be easy if we want it to be.
Brian, great stuff, man. I told you he would bring it, and he did.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming in early on a Saturday morning.
I appreciate it, man. I was just gonna get some gushers and watch The Grinch all day, so I'm happy.